Hello and welcome to another episode of the Amplify podcast. So this is going to my podcast, the Amplify podcast, which is available on every platform, right? Okay, so my name is Adesewa Greg-Ighodaro. I'm excited to bring to you another episode of this Amplify podcast where I help visionary leaders, Christian creators, influencers to find their voice and become significant in the thing that God has called them to do. In this episode today, I'm excited. I think you can tell. In this episode today, I want to do something that in Nigeria we call table shaking, right? I want to shake some tables today. And I need to shake this table because I have found, so recently, I've been taking people through ministry marketing. I've been showing the importance of, changing your mindset about marketing. And I have found some myths, about marketing. There's some business style of marketing that is creeping into the ministry space, and if one is not careful, whether you're a Christian business owner, whether you're a visionary leader, whether you're actually a minister who stays, who preaches on certain days in the week in church, this is something that you might have been seeing. This is something that you might have even adopted. And this is something that you might have been considering lately, right? And so I thought to just, bring it up and share with you so that you can see what is tenable and what one must not, the boundary lines, yes, the boundary lines of collaboration. And now that you heard the word collaboration, you're probably thinking collaboration is a good thing. What's she about to say? Collaboration is fantastic. I think that collaboration is great. First of all, I believe that we are in an era of collaboration. I have read books on collaboration. I have listened to sermons on creative collaboration. So I understand the concept of collaboration. In fact, I totally understand that as believers, God has called us to partnership. God has called us collaboration. And it's a great, how do I put it now? It's a great resource, It's a great leverage, for whatever it is that God has called you to do. Now, so that you do not think that I am speaking against collaboration, I just thought that I should share some statistics about collaboration in the workplace. So people have said that collaboration has improved their teamwork, has improved productivity levels, have also increased revenue sales. And so collaboration is not that thing or that buzzword that we hear and we're like, oh, I don't want to do it. I mean, by all means, in fact, within the corporate church communication resources, our very first course, which is a launch and grow ministry online course, when you get to the marketing mechanism part, which is the last module in that course, I speak to you about collaboration. So this is not to demean the concept of collaboration. However, there is always a thin line between collaborating for increase, and depending on collaboration to increase your value. Yes, I said that. So one of the things so when I first got into business, let me explain this now. When I first got into business and we wanted to, step into the event space to do something, we had spoken to like a PR person, an online publicist person, and this person had also introduced us to some marketing trends. And, we got to the phase where we started to, consider and research for speakers and all of that. I know it wasn't a church event, right? It was I think it was a business, it was a business event. And they began to say, oh, this person, you need to invite this person because if you invite this person, it's going to bring, crowd and all of that. And that's true. When it comes to the business space, that's true. But what happens as a minister? I'm focusing on the ministers today because this is something that we see creeping up in the church. And this is something that, although, could be a blessing, is becoming a burden. So we have a minister who says, We held an event, and we had 1,000 people, and after the event, let's say that the regular attendance of the church is about 500, and so they say that they had an event, and after the event, of course, they recorded about 1,000 people and more, but after the event and all the speakers had left, their numbers did not increase, significantly, basing it on what they had experienced when the guest minister came. And that becomes a question of, do we continue to do events so that we continue to bring people, or what do we do exactly to sustain the ministry, and to sustain and actually increase the growth of the ministry? Every time somebody gets into a collaboration, whether they know it or they do not know it, whether it's strategic or it's not strategic, whether it's spontaneous or it's not spontaneous, whether it's planned or it's not planned, every time you get into a collaboration, you are looking for a few things, and one of the things you're looking for is growth. You are believing, you are trusting, or you are hoping that that collaboration is going to give you the kind of growth, that you are seeking. And it is true. Collaboration can give you the kind of growth you're seeking. But are you well positioned? Can you sustain the growth? I think that's the question I'm asking. Can you sustain the growth that collaboration delivers to you? Because sometimes we're good crowd pullers. We're strategic crowd pullers. We know how to get the people in the room. But the real deal is not about just getting people in the room. It is about retaining the people in the room and increasing the numbers of the people in the room. So if you are considering collaboration as one of your strategies, it's fantastic. It's great. But the real question here is, why are you considering collaboration? Because there is actually a non-sustainable part of collaboration, which is after you collaborate. So after you collaborate, are you the person? Have you groomed yourself enough? Have you become the person? Have you developed yourself enough, to be that personality that people want to listen to? Because sometimes we're collaborating with other people because we want to leverage their audience. We see their industry, we know what they do, we understand their expertise, and we're seeking to, leverage their audience because they already have a social capital. And if you're paying attention these days, when people collaborate with you, especially intentional collaborators, when they collaborate with you, they are responsible for their social capital. And so sometimes you want to collaborate with somebody and they will say no to you, not because they are proud, but because they are wondering if what you're doing is beneficial to their market, if what you're doing is beneficial to their audience, because they feel responsible for the souls that are attached to them. And that's why when you're collaborating, you have to collaborate, yes, strategically, but you also have to collaborate with the, with the intention of not just, what's the poaching, their own followers. That's not the idea. The idea of growth in anything, in ministry, the idea of growth, and that's why, okay, so for example, let's go into the business space, for example. A business, contacts an influencer to say, oh, we want you to, like you to, market our product for us. The influencer comes and have maybe like 2 million following. The influencer comes, does the interview or does shoots the product ad, the product ad, shoots the ad, and that organization, that business marketing team, runs the ad over traditional media, whether it's television, whether it's radio, whatever it is, they run that ad. The question will not be, did the influencer do the job? Because the influencer will do the job. Just by them showing up, those who they call their fans, those who they call their followers, will definitely try, or a percentage of them will want to try what your product or what your service is. The question now becomes, is your product or is your service good enough? Have you packaged it enough? Did you present it well enough? For those people who you were able to get their attention through their influencer, are they able to testify that what their influencer presented to them is as great as they presented it? So the idea of collaboration is not just about getting the people to come on that day, or getting the people to show up en masse, or getting the people to realize that you are there. The real question is, do you have a sustainable system? Do you have a sustainable, in quote, good news? Do you have something? Is there something? Is there somewhere? Is there some height that you have gotten your ministry or your personality developed to, such that whoever comes into that space, and sometimes it's ambience, whoever comes into that space, because there's something about a member experience. Some of us ministers do not have that in place in our ministry. I'm maybe going to talk about that in another video. Member experience, right? Okay, so when they show up at the doorstep of your ministry, Christian business owners, when they show up at the doorstep of your business, when they buy your product, when they see it at the malls, when they pick it up, can they testify that the product is as good as the one-day event that you put together? I heard a man of wisdom say, do not build anything, do not grow anything based on guest invitations. You cannot grow anything sustainably based on guest invitations. You want to make sure that you as a person, the product that you create, whether it's books, whether it's teachings, whether it's courses, whatever product you create is good enough, is powerful enough, is presentable and packaged well enough to attract the eyes of the people and the heart of the people to be a part of that which God is calling you to do. So again, collaboration is great. However, at some point, it may not be sustainable. Why? Because you do not have the foundation to sustain it. So where's the real work, and what am I trying to say? The real work here is, if you're a minister, you're a business owner, you're a creator, you're a visionary, who's trying to grow something that God has put in their hands, sit down, and develop a system or a structure or a strategy that helps you to build, that which God is calling you to build on a solid foundation, such that whether you have one event, or you have 5 events, or you have 10 events, it will not be that you are trying to take, in quote, or leverage someone else's social capital, but it is that you already have something that those who are meant to connect with the work that you are doing will find, even if they come through the door of an event. And that is how you grow anything sustainably. I hope this helps you, because it was burning in my heart, and I thought it would be a great thing, to talk about it, so that as we move on ahead, as we put in place strategies and people we want to collaborate with, we're making sure that we have done the groundwork and making sure that there is at least a truth. There is truth to what we are bringing the people to. Thank you for joining me. God bless you. If this blessed you, please, follow us on social media at The Corporate Church. If you have questions, please feel free to send us messages. You can also email me at talk2me at thecorporatechurch.com, and I'll be ready to respond to you. God bless you. Remember, this is the Amplify Podcast, and my name is Adesewa Greg-Ighodaro. Don't forget to share. Have a great one. Bye-bye.